Chief Ọlálẹ raises his hands, his voice echoing through the grand hall. Let it be known, the age of deception is over. I, Ọlálẹ, shall be the new ruler of Ojúmọ dàgbèsí, and under my reign, we shall rise beyond the limits of men. The warriors pounded their chests in eerie unison, their movements mechanical. The spell had completely overtaken them. Adegbite, Iféolúwa, and Bayo crouched behind a towering marble pillar at the entrance of the throne room, watching the scene unfold. Their hearts pounded in sync, their breaths shallow. Bayo's voice was low but urgent. We must act now, before he seals the coronation with the oath of blood. Adegbite's eyes flickered to the golden chains binding Ọba Adetokunbo. His father knelt beside the throne, his body trembling from whatever dark force was sapping his strength. If we can free him, Adegbite whispered, we can break the spell's hold on the others. Iféolúwa shook her head. It won't be that simple. Look at them. Whatever power Ọlálẹ has summoned has already spread its roots deep into their minds. Bayo gritted his teeth. Then we cut those roots. He turned to Adegbite, eyes burning with determination. We end Oludajo tonight. Adegbite tightened his grip on his dagger. It was a battle unlike any he had fought before. The enemy was not just flesh and blood, but something far worse, an ancient force that strived in darkness and lies. But this was his kingdom, his people. He would not let it fall. Adegbite took a deep breath, then nodded to Iféolúwa and Bayo. They moved quickly, slipping into the shadows, inching closer to the throne. The golden light flickered unnaturally, as if sensing their presence. Ọlálẹ turned slightly, his smirk widening. You can come out now, he called, his voice dripping with amusement. I was beginning to wonder when you would arrive. The entire room turned to face them. Adegbite cursed under his breath. They had been expected. Before they could react, the palace warriors drew their weapons and charged. Steel clashed against steel. Adegbite dodged a strike, twisting his body and driving his dagger into the arm of his soldier. Bayo fought beside him, moving with the precision of a man who had spent a lifetime in battle. Iféolúwa, light on her feet, ducked beneath a spear and swung her short sword, disarming her opponent with a sharp, precise strike. But the warriors kept coming, relentless, their bodies moving unnaturally, as if guided by an unseen force. From his throne, Ọlálẹ merely watched, his hands folded in amusement. You cannot win this fight, boy, he taunted. You are fighting shadows. Adegbite's teeth clenched. He's right, we can't keep this up forever. His gaze darted toward the king. The chains. If they could free Ọba Adetokunbo, there was still a chance. Cover me! He shouted to Iféolúwa and Bayo before sprinting toward the throne. The moment Adegbite reached his father, the golden chains shimmered, pulsing with dark energy. The king's breathing was shallow, his skin unnaturally pale. Father! Adegbite knelt beside him, trying to undo the bindings. But the moment his fingers touched the metal, a searing pain shot through his arm. He recoiled. Ọlálẹ laughed. Those chains are not for mere mortals to break. Adegbite's heart pounded. There has to be a way. Then, a voice, a whisper soft but urgent. The truth is the key. It came from nowhere and everywhere at once. Adegbite's eyes widened as realization struck him. These chains were made from deception itself, woven from the lies and corruption that had taken root in the kingdom. And what was the greatest deception of all? Ọlálẹ's claim to the throne. Adegbite rose to his feet, turning to face the nobleman. His voice rang through the throne room. You are not the rightful ruler of Ojúmọ dàgbèsí, he declared. Everything you built is a lie. A sudden ripple tore through the air. The chains around the king shuddered. Ọlálẹ's eyes darkened. Silence! But Adegbite pressed forward. You deceived the king, the nobles, the people. You stole their loyalty with lies and magic. You are not a leader. You are a coward who hides behind sorcery. The golden chains cracked. A powerful gust of wind surged through the throne room, extinguishing the torches. The warriors hesitated, their glazed eyes flickering with confusion. The spell was weakening. Adegbite turned to the nobles. "Open your eyes! You are under his spell! Think, who truly deserves the throne?" A murmur rippled through the crowd. The warriors staggered, some clutching their heads. The weight of truth was breaking through the fog of deception. Olaleye snarled, his once calm expression twisting with rage. "Enough!" With the flick of his wrist, he called upon his final weapon. Oludajo moved. The dark figure behind him stretched, his form shifting, twisting into something monstrous. A shadow with too many eyes, too many mouths, a thing that should not exist. His voice was like the wail of 1,000 lost souls. "You dare challenge me?" Adegbite felt his knees weaken, his mind momentarily slipping into the abyss of fear. But then a hand gripped his shoulder. "Iféolúwa!" Her eyes burned with defiance, and beside her, Bayo, sword in hand. "We finish this," Bayo growled. Adegbite nodded, his grip tightening around his dagger. The chains around his father had almost completely broken. One final push, one final strike. The battle for Ojúmọ dàgbèsí had begun. "You dare challenge me?" the creature hissed, his voice like 1,000 distorted whisper. Every movement it made sent waves of darkness crashing through the room. Adegbite's breath was ragged, but he stood tall. "We have no choice." The shadows around Oludajo twisted, forming strange, grotesque shapes. Eyes blinked open in the air, and mouths opened to speak in unison. "We are the truth that has been buried. We are the lies that have been forgotten." The air grew thick with an oppressive weight, and the ground beneath their feet trembled. For a moment, it seemed as though the very fabric of reality was bending to Oludajo's will. Bayo stepped forward, sword gleaming in the dim light. "It's feeding on fear, on the lies buried deep in this kingdom. The more we cower, the stronger it becomes." Oludajo laughed, its sound echoing like a hollow drumbeat. "I do not feed on fear alone, mortal. I feed on truth. You see, all that you have fought for, all that you have believed, has been built upon the very lies I have woven into this land." Adegbite's heart clenched. Was this it? Was everything they had believed in false? But then he remembered the voice, the whisper. The truth is the key. It wasn't just about defeating this creature. It was about confronting the very foundation of their world, the lies that had allowed Oludajo to rise in the first place, and they had to reveal the truth no matter the cost. "I refuse to believe that," Adegbite said, his voice firm, cutting through the oppressive air. "The people of Ojúmọ dàgbèsí may have been deceived, but they are not lost forever. They are not slaves to your lies." The creature's many eyes narrowed, and the air grew colder. "You speak of the people, but the people belong to me now." Its form writhed, shadowy tendrils snaking out toward the nobles, whose eyes glowed with dark light. Iféolúwa stepped forward, drawing her sword. "Not for long." Bayo held his ground. "We fight for the kingdom, for its future, not the lies that have ruled it." The dark figure let out a deafening roar, its shadowy tendrils surging toward them. In that instant, Adegbite saw the shadows moving faster than before, as if the creature was trying to overwhelm them in a wave of darkness. But there was something inside him that wouldn't break. The truth. He turned to Oba Adetokunbo, who had regained some strength. His eyes locked with Adegbite's. "Son!" the king whispered, voice hoarse. "The lies! They've poisoned everything. The covenant of the Black Sun. It's what allowed him to control everything. You are the key. You have to break the curse." Adegbite's blood ran cold. "The covenant? What is it?" The king's eyes flickered with sadness. "It is the pact that binds the royal line to power through deception, through the lies that our forefathers promised to protect. It was forged to protect the throne, but in doing so, it twisted the truth. I swore loyalty to it, to a false king, and I failed to see the danger it would bring. My son, His voice faltered. You are the true heir, not just by blood, but by the strength of the truth you carry. Bayo's eyes widened as he processed the king's words. The covenant was meant to bind truth and power together, but instead, it birthed lies manipulated by Oludajo. Adegbite stepped forward, his hand gripping his dagger tightly. Then we destroyed the covenant, we destroyed the lies, and we reclaimed the truth. Oludajo howled in fury, the dark tendrils intensifying, wrapping around everything in their path. It surged toward Adegbite, its shadowy mouth opening wide to devour him. But in that moment, a blinding light filled the throne room, a flash of pure, untainted light. It was the light of truth. Adegbite raised his dagger high. The truth is not yours to control, Oludajo. He plunged the dagger into the heart of the covenant, an ancient stone artifact at the foot of the throne. The stone glowed, shattering in an explosion of light that sent shockwaves through the palace. For a moment, everything froze. Then, the darkness began to recede. The shadowy tendrils of Oludajo writhed, and with a terrible scream, the creature began to unravel. The eyes, the mouths, all of them faded, dissolving into the air like smoke in the wind. The spell over the nobles and warriors lifted. They collapsed, their eyes clearing as they regained control over their own minds. And at the heart of the throne room, Oludajo's form finally vanished, leaving nothing but an empty void. Adegbite breathed heavily, his chest rising and falling with each breath. He looked around at the fallen soldiers, the nobles who had once bowed before Oludajo. They were free, but now the real work would begin. With the covenant destroyed, the people of Ojúmọ dàgbèsí began to heal. The palace that had been a symbol of fear and manipulation now stood as a beacon of hope. Adegbite, with the support of his father, was crowned the rightful ruler of the kingdom. But unlike the kings before him, Adegbite ruled not with power born from lies, but from truth. Truth that he would protect at all costs. As the sun rose over the land of Ojúmọ dàgbèsí, Adegbite stood before his people, the weight of the crown now resting on his head. The echoes of deception had been silenced, and a new era had begun.